Hello and welcome back to another one of my Hidden Gems videos. This time we're looking at games for the Xbox. The first one, not the one. Now I didn't get to play many Xbox games growing up as I had the vastly more popular PlayStation 2. So after buying one not too long ago, I've researched some underappreciated titles and picked out some of my favourites. You may notice some of the games look a bit better than others, and that's because a few of them are backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So I'll be capturing footage from those consoles where possible. I'll make a note on screen if the game is backwards compatible. So here are 5 hidden gems I feel are worth some of your time for the original Xbox. It's easy to see why Pariah slipped under the radar of so many gamers. Released in 2005, it was up against a torrent of first-person shooter games that very year. Games such as Fear, Quake 4, Call of Duty 2, Time Splitters 3, Battlefield 2, Serious Sam 2, Area 51, and so many others. Pariah sadly doesn't really do anything to differ itself from those games, but it's a solid game that can be still enjoyed. You play as Jack Mason, a doctor who's escorting a mysterious woman in a cryogenically frozen state. Your ship is shot down and it's up to you to find her. While there isn't many weapons to choose from during your play, you can upgrade them for some extra firepower. My favourite is the grenade launcher, as it has a satisfying looking explosion. You do have access to some vehicles as well, which usually have weapons mounted to them. You can really tell the game has been influenced by Halo. What makes the game more interesting is its included map editor. Within this you can easily terraform land, place items and vehicles, and have access to other options as well. It's easy to use and quite fun to mess around with. If anything, it's worth taking a look at this game just for this. Quantum Redshift reminds me a lot of the old Wipeout games for the PlayStation. And that's not a surprise, as this game was made by a team comprising of developers that had left Psygnosis after development finished on the first 2 Wipeout games. While it seems like the vehicles you control are too big for the track, the racing works really well, and the steering is a lot less slippery than Wipeout. You've got the standard modes of any racing game such as career, quick play and multiplayer. In career you select a character, play through several races and upgrade your vehicle with more powerful weapons, boosts and shields. Speaking of which, you can pick up weapon ammo along the track and boost points as well to help you purchase upgrades. Each character has a nemesis that you'll have to race one-on-one at the end of your career, which are explained through these strange cutscenes.
Держит меня в героической борьбе за победу.
The tracks are nicely varied and the game runs in a smooth 60 frames per second. This is definitely a recommendation to fans of the Wipeout series. Brute Force is a third-person shooter that has squad-based elements. You can select any of your 4 team members on the go, each of which have a special ability. This adds a nice variety to the gameplay, as you can select a stealth character to sneak and pick off targets carefully, or select a powerful character and go in guns blazing. It's up to you how you handle each stage. The gameplay is a lot smoother than other third-person shooters I've played around this era. The game is a sci-fi affair where you'll be travelling to different planets, shooting aliens in the face. Being a squad game, you have commands you can give to your teammates and friendly AI. The AI is fairly competent, you'll notice how they use cover well and heal themselves accordingly. Up to 4 players can play at the same time via split screen, blasting through levels together, and there's also competitive modes as well as cooperative. When you think of vehicle combat games, you'll usually think of car games like Twisted Metal or flight games like Ace Combat. Bloodwake takes you to the water with its boat combat. You play as Lieutenant Shao Kai. Betrayed and left for dead by your brother, you join a band of sea raiders and seek revenge. Each mission you're given an ever increasingly powerful ship and you'll be tasked with a variety of goals. This will include destroying enemies, protecting allies and even a bit of racing as well. Every boat is equipped with a chain gun, but with every mission you'll have access to more powerful special weapons like torpedoes, rockets and mines. You'll collect ammo and health from these floating boxes that enemies leave behind. The water effects are quite impressive for a game released in 2002, and the exotic locations are a pleasant backdrop to the combat. As you progress through the game, you'll unlock more content for the multiplayer portion of the game. What I will recommend doing though is changing the controller layout. As default, the game has you control your boat completely with the left stick, kinda like the warthogs in Halo. Switch to setup B and you'll have a much better time. Breakdown takes the first person genre and tries to immerse the player even more within its perspective. The game's probably most well known for how your character picks up this burger. As well as your standard shooting, the game has fighting elements as well. You lock onto enemies and create fighting combos using the trigger buttons. It's certainly something that wasn't seen before and hasn't really been seen much since. The plot is interesting enough to keep you invested. You wake up in a recovery facility in Japan with amnesia in the midst of a war between humans and warriors controlled by Nexus. The shooting gameplay is really basic, you basically lock onto targets and fire. It's the fighting gameplay that makes this game interesting. It takes some getting used to, but if you invest into it, there's a lot of fun to be had. While the game reviewed below average, many players are hugely fond of Breakdown to this day, and for a cheap price it's certainly worth checking out to see if you'll enjoy it too.
I didn't want to die!
Thank you for watching one of my many Hidden Gems videos. If you like this sort of thing, then do check out the Hidden Gems playlist. Give the subscribe button a click if you want to keep an eye on the videos that will be released this year, and again, thank you for watching.